this thing. And it was the same thing with like fitness. Like I wanted to be the fastest runner. If you were running flat, I was running hills. If you were running hills, I would go to the mountains. Like that was my mentality all the time. So like it was great, but it was terrible because like with drinking, it didn't lead me anywhere. Like there's been so many opportunities that I missed because I was an alcoholic and I still am an alcoholic, but I haven't had a drink in almost 7 years.
Dude, that's amazing.
Yeah. So like that quitting drinking just changed my whole life. It changed everything. And I am the person that I am today because I made that decision. You know what I mean? Like my son will never, ever see me even the least bit buzzed or drunk or whatever. You know what I mean? Like I can proudly say that. And I thank God for that because like, honestly, because I'm an all or nothing person, I know my personality. I wouldn't be here sitting in this chair. I would be either dead, in jail, or in the gutter, like in Skid Row somewhere. Right. Because that's my personality.
Right.
I was smart enough to know that I was dumb. So I had to change my life. And when I quit drinking, because I was already involved in fitness, like that helped me so much. I was able, like, instead of going to the bar when I was frustrated, I was able to go run Turnbull Canyon or go run in Long Beach or go lift weights or go just do whatever. I would do Spartan races. I'd go jump on my road bike. I have a kayak, like anything to like let go of that energy or like that like fill that mental space with something positive. So,
I totally get, where you're coming from.
Yeah.
I have a lot of missed opportunities myself. Same thing with the boxing and kickboxing when I was younger. Was always, doing really good, and then I would just couldn't get off the drugs and alcohol. Mm-hmm. Just all the wasted talent. Mm-hmm. And I think about that a lot. I was reading the Bible and I was listening to some this preacher talk about how God will give you your time back. I don't want to mess it up for people probably know what I'm talking about, but
yeah,
like I have to remind myself that something is going to come from all those years I wasted, being a waster. I pray to God every day that something will come out of that because that whole experience that you're talking about, like all those missed opportunities, all that stuff, like it weighs heavy.
Yeah.
It weighs heavy. And like to think of all the years I wasted, all the talent. I'm 45 now, so it's not like I can go back in time, like you're saying, and be this. I always knew I could be a badass kickboxer or an athlete. And I'm a great athlete. I think I'm a pretty good athlete as a jiu-jitsu practitioner, but it's also a lot easier on the body for someone that's my age and be able to fight on the ground. But trying to be a boxer or a kickboxer these days and actually, be a champion or excel at it. Yeah, man, those days are lost because of the alcohol.
Yes.
And so how did you do it, man? How'd you get sober? What went down?
You know what?
You said 7 years, right?
Going on 7 years. I think it's 7 or 8. You kind of lose track at some point, which I don't.
Probably better that way.
Yeah, like I don't really. It doesn't bother me that like I was thinking about the other day. I think it was even before like I came in here. I was thinking about it. I thought it might come up, and I was like, "Am I 7 or 8 years?" Like it doesn't matter. Like my whole thing is, I was reading this interview with Tom Hardy, the actor, and he's sober too.
Oh, is that right?
Well.
He does jiu-jitsu.
He does jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
The dude's a badass. I love Tom Hardy. He's a badass. But anyways, he in this interview, they were talking about his alcoholism and when he quit and blah, blah, blah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. Okay. I think he's going on over 20 years of not having a drink. You would never guess.
How old is that dude?
Tom Hardy, I want to say it is in like his mid to late 40s.
Is that right? He's my age, huh?
Yeah, he's not young, but he's not old. He's right there in like.
He's been around a while. So I guess you're right. Yeah.
So they're doing this interview and they're talking about his drinking, and he said, "I will pat myself on the back for not drinking when I double the years that I drink." And like it took me a second to think about that. I'm like, that's genius. Like I quit drinking.
He doubles it.
So like here, I'll explain it to you. Like okay, so I quit drinking at 29.
Yeah.
How
long were you drinking?
So I started drinking at 13.
Wow.
I started really drinking at 13. So like, that's what 17 years
Don't
of
ask
drinking.
Me, man. Public school.
So it's like 16 or 17 years of drinking.
Wow.
And it's crazy because at 29, I was 17 years into like my alcohol career. Like that's sad.
Yeah.
And I'll say it. Like some people take pride in like how much they can drink and all that. And I don't. Drinking does nothing for you. That's just my opinion.
It doesn't,
man.
man.
You can think whatever you want.
Does the opposite, actually.
Yeah. So, but to each their own. I don't have.
Yeah.
I'm not against people that drink. All my friends still sometimes, and I'm with them, and they're great people.
You're able to stay away, like to refrain from drinking.
Yeah. So when I pass 17 years of drinking, that's when I'll give myself a pat on the back. So that's
you were drinking for 17 years.
Yeah. Right? So like when I'm sober or not drinking for 17 years, then I'll be able to be like, hey,
okay.
Like you're kind of doing something here. So when I quit drinking, I hadn't had Warren yet. So my son was non-existent, but me and the mother of my child were like going back and forth because I was a terrible person. I did terrible things. We won't even name the things that I did, but I just wasn't a good partner. And, so I'm sitting there and I went on, I remember drinking with my cousin. He came down for his birthday and I was living in Torrance at the time. So we went down to Hermosa Beach and partied on Hermosa Beach 3 days straight, drinking, partying, just doing whatever we were doing. And I have a decent job, pretty good job, and so does he. So we were just spending the money. We didn't care.
At the time you had a decent job or the same job?
I had the same job. So I work for a local 724. I do construction for the movie sets and TV.
Oh, sweet.
So it's a union job, pension, blah, 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 blah. I can provide for my family. It's great. I'm super blessed.
Do you work on a particular show? Or
right now, I don't even know the show I'm working on. I've been doing it for like a decent amount of time to where like I just don't even care what show I'm working on. It's like all so repetitive. Like it's fun, but it's like, oh, we're building TV and movie set. Like the first couple of years I was like, this is exciting. And now I'm like, I'm tired.
Are you like so behind it that you don't meet anybody, or do you meet like?
Oh, you cross paths with stars.
Oh, cool.
And yeah, a lot of them are cool, cordial. Like it's cool. It's a great job. It's a whole other different world. Like that's working for the studios it's funny. It's interesting. But, so we're partying and he does the same thing. We both work for the studio. So like money didn't matter. Like we weren't balling, but we had money to spend. So we're buying drinks at the bar, doing this, doing that. And it's a Sunday. I remember it was a Sunday and I was hungover because we had drinking 3 days in a row. Excuse me. And then I'm sitting at the bar and I was sad. And at the time, I'm not going to lie, I kind of had everything that a man would want. Like I had my own place, my own car, a good job. I was single but dating multiple women. Like
all the stuff in the world.
All the stuff in the world that you would think you want as a man. Like
right.
I was in shape, whatever. Like everything was going well for me.
You had your shit together.
Exactly. Yeah. And I'm sitting at the bar and I'm sad. I'm sad. And I'm like thinking in my head, I'm like, why am I so sad? Like, this is weird. Like and I was with my cousin who is like my best friend who just actually is going on 2 years of not drinking himself, which is like, it's amazing. Like, more and more people are going that route.
Right now or at the time? Oh, you're at the
now. Right now, he's going like